AIOC.org, and you can get more information, and if you're interested in updating yourself in cornea, you're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
In oculoplastics, you can use it for external photography or for slit lamp photography, as Dr. Fogla just mentioned. And this photograph below is one which is taken by external photography, but by attaching a macro lens to your camera. What is the need and importance of photography? We've already had Dr. Yogesha and Dr. Fogla mention this to us, that it's a better document reconstructions. You can take a second opinion from some other colleague. It is indispensable in reconstructive surgery. You can very well use it for student-patient education modules. For trauma, it has medical legal implications. You need to have a pre and post photograph. Certain times, insurance companies do not pass on the claim saying that nothing actually has happened with the patient, and you can actually show that this was pre and this is post. Commonly, it is used by oculoplastic surgeons and by pediatric ophthalmologists. Now, what are your basic adjustments? You need a dedicated room or a wall. If you do not have a dedicated room, what you can do is you can paint a small wooden board with a light grey color and use it as a background. So in front of your arm, in front of the patient's chair on the chair unit, you just put that small wooden board and ask the patient to rest with the head against it, so that you have a uniform background to all the pictures that you're going to take subsequently for the patient. The best recommended is a light grey background with the patient seated in front of it. You should have adequate space around the patient so that you can move around and take oblique frames, and also ask the patient to turn around for oblique and 90-degree frames. And usually all your photographs should be in a standard frame to allow comparison between post-operative visits. Like this is a lady and in ophthalmos and has undergone surgery, and when the frames are exactly comparable, you can explain it better. Or like this gentleman who has dermatochalasis with ptosis and has undergone both the procedures, first post-operative day 1 week and then at 6 weeks. And this also helps you educate your patients that this is how you're going to look immediately post-surgery, and this is your downtime, so expect about a week's edema. So the patients are usually worried, how will I look, how can I go out, can I go to parties? So this is how you can explain it to them if you've taken good photographs. We have discussed a lot about camera specifications. Dr. Gaurav has very well mentioned it, but we'll just go through a few small points, like the photo clarity in smartphones is a little poor in low illumination. So you need good ambient light. The subject should be facing the light source and has to be well illuminated. The smartphones have an inbuilt flash, and most of the times it is a LED flash, which is usually very bright. So the photograph might look artificially over illuminated. Hence, it is always best to have good room light and avoid the external flash while taking external photography. However, if still your flash is needed, you can use a little transparent white sort of thin paper over the flash, and that reduces the intensity of the flash. Look at this image down. This is an image of a girl with natural light only and no flash used. This is with the built-in flash of the smartphone, and you can see that it looks artificially whiter. Whereas this is what is best. And if you can have this, then it is the best thing. It is an external flash which bounces off the ceiling. So it's not the inbuilt flash of your iPhone, but you use external flashes. I'll speak to you about that. I don't have any financial interest in these products, but there is one external flash called the iGlazer, which is available, and it is a fully synchronized flash with either the Android or the Apple products, both. Now, unfortunately, all smartphones have a built-in digital zoom. There are two kinds of zoom. One is a digital zoom and the other is an optical zoom. If you get optical zoom, it's nothing like it. That is supposed to be the best sort of image, like you can see over here. This is the original image. When it is zoomed with an optical device, with an optical zoom, you get much clearer picture as against a digital zoom, where the image tends to get pixelated if you magnify. So suppose there is a patient who has a wart on the upper eyelid and you want to take a close picture, it's always better to not zoom. Since your phones have a digital zoom, you take a picture from a particular distance, and then after you have clicked it, then while you want to present it somewhere, you can expand. Picture has been captured with an optical zoom. And if you see the ocular surface squamous neoplasia with the very small filiform intrinsic vascularity, this would not have been possible just with a digital tool. Now while you are transferring, like we mentioned about WhatsApp and emailing photographs, so when you are transferring your image, make sure that you always transfer the image in the actual size. It takes a little time, but it maintains the resolution. Quite a high extent in the auto mode in the iPhone and to some extent in the Samsung. However, other smartphone platforms, you might have to go into the manual mode and then increase or decrease your exposure, the contrast and all those things. Color levels are very acceptable with the iPhone and the Samsung platform. For some others, you might have to adjust the red, blue and the green colors. Increasing the red color a little bit gives the skin tone a very natural color. You'll see that in the pictures to come. And there are several apps available with which you can edit your photograph once you've clicked it before making your final presentation. There is an app which is known as the Camera Plus app where you have a burst mode. So what it does is that it takes a series of photos quickly with one click. So you click and it takes about 20 to 25 photographs within a second span, and you can select the best picture amongst those to make your final presentation. So instead of you click, you just click once and it takes 20 photographs and you select what you want. It also has an anti-shake mode where what it does is your vibrations of your hand while you're holding the camera are reduced. That is what the phone senses itself, and it clicks the image at the point when your hand's vibrations are the least. Now in oculoplasty, you'll have certain views or certain standard ways in which you should take photographs. For the face views, you have the frontal, oblique and the lateral, and all these together are known as the standard 5 head series in oculofacial and plastic surgery. So what you take in the frontal view is from the upper limit of your head to the jugular incision frontal view. So you take from the upper limit of the head to just below the neck. This is what a frontal photograph should look like. In particular type of conditions, you take additional pictures. Like in this lady who is very conscious about the lower eyelid bags, you also take a picture with up gaze and down gaze to scientifically document that yes, when she's looking down, the bags become less obvious, and that means she has fat prolapse in the lower eyelid rather than fluid accumulation. And this is very well taken by people when you present it at close to the cheek and then take the picture. And for the 90-degree view, either make the patient turn around completely or just twist the neck and take the pictures. For the eye views, for ptosis particularly, you should take a standard photograph in cardinal gaze, in up gaze, down gaze and with the eyelids closed. And certain other conditions like proptosis, you would have to take in the bird's eye view so that you can document proptosis and enophthalmos in such patients. Certain other special views as custom made for the situation can be used, like to document lid laxity, you can click from above or from the side, but this is all personalized photography. Thank you very much. And,
Thank you very much.
I closed it now. It is not required. The brainstorming is mainly about the general aspects of management of life, including taxation and other how to behave with the media, how to behave with the colleagues, and then the second session usually talks more about self, how to detect yourself and what are the strengths and weaknesses, and then what are the traits, all kind of things. So we will be speaking about all this. Mainly the concept is that the life is designed to fail. Means if you don't do anything, you are destined to fail. This concept you need to remember all the time. So to make a failure to a success is the leadership, nothing else. So what all is required for a failure to get on to the success level, that's what is all about leadership. It is not about competing or not about occupying a chair, not about going for a position or anything like that. So this, unless anyone, and you first sit down yourself and write down what is success for you, and then discuss with your close friends. Again, your refinement will happen about this. So first of all, you should know what is your goal. unless you don't know the aim, where will you target? The target should be there to hit it. And then what is the roles of leaders? Leaders is not like someone who is prime minister and then what he is playing. He is also a leader. But what are the roles? Unless the prime minister knows what he is supposed to do, he will not be able to do anything rather than obeying the commands, right? So it has multiple perspectives, because a leader is one who can give the direction. It may be a leader of your family. We are, as an individual, we are leaders of ourselves first of all, right? For us to get one direction, we need to lead ourselves first. The second is family, then other things. And for a leader to give direction to a larger, bigger group, it really requires a conviction. Means internal strength. And a person with a strong conviction can give direction. You can see a lot of strong people also who has given directions in different directions actually. It is for good, it is for bad as well. Take Osama bin Laden. Is he a leader or he is not a leader? He is a strong leader, very strong leader. He has almost directed all the masses for war against something, right? But his direction is in a wrong direction. Okay. Same thing with Mahatma Gandhi. He has really directed the minds of the people. And this direction is based on a strong conviction. And there is a lot of opposition for his non-violence movement. At that time, non-violence, nobody believed that it will shake the British. Unless he strongly believes himself, he would not have led the whole country towards independence. So the basic point with strong leaders is their conviction and they believe. And such kind of people are the real catalyst for a change. Like these elections happening and everyone asking for change. Really, you do stop them and ask, what change do you require? They fumble. Because they are asking, this is a strong word. Wherever you see, whoever asks for change is a good thing. But are you really asking for a change? In which direction? And what are the different things? Then the real things will come up. Then what are the benefits of leadership? Yes, you can occupy a chair, you can travel free, you stay free, and you can which a lot of companies will help you. This is a leadership understanding in general, right? But that is not the target of LDP. Here, leadership is for self-discipline, self-awareness, self-improvement, self-management. For self, these are all the components which need to be practiced day to day, hour to hour basis. So first awareness is that. So if 13 of you, anyone is coming from the other part, you can walk away straight away. So don't expect that. Then the immediate family. As you become better, immediate family will also benefit, because you are, if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, or your wife and relatives, you can give them a direction. See, you strive for this. If not 100%, 20-30%, even if the practice for that good, it is happening good for the society. And if someone takes up your cause, again there is another generation passage of good cause will be there. May not be your family, ancestors. You can see someone in the society may get stimulated by you. lot of without knowing, it is not to boast anyone's self like that, but without knowing, many people have taken retina as specialty. They came along with their parents to me while having a detachment and diabetic retinopathy. Later revealed that, sir, you have seen that time and it really stimulated the way you have treated it. Means by having a good nature and good way of handling the persons, other people, unknowingly or knowingly you are changing people. You believe in it. And if someone can adapt, okay, I will take up this cause of changing people, changing self and changing people, you are benefiting the society as such. Last time I put this slide, but I stopped at society level. This time I said it should be at global level. Because if I see even USA, which is world leader among the countries, is now deteriorating. Its integrity is getting deteriorated. Obama is going for a separation. What kind of a first person he is for the USA? If he is getting diverse, what kind of standards he is going to set up for himself? We have seen him as a great leader, but without a personal values, you cannot stand as top. As simple as that. So now let us be less serious, because LDP is not serious issue at all. So we'll go through the people who have applied. 13 people we need to introduce. So Dr. Sudhakar is there. He will introduce himself.
I'm from Guntur. I'm born there, brought up there. Never. You might have heard of Shankara Eye Hospital. Yeah. So I'm as Chief Medical Officer with Shankara for the last 5 years in Guntur.
What made you to come to LDP? This is unexpected.
Yeah, a lot of things were unexpected. I didn't hope to be heading such a big institution pretty young. I was 35 and I was made the CMO. A lot of people came and directly asked me, couldn't they find somebody older than you? Which I then thought was an insult to my capabilities, I think.
No. You should immediately say
There should be some avenue. So I thought this will give me clues to how to make me a better person and grow in life.
Definitely, yeah. Better opportunity for us to shape you up to change the health system. Thank you. Older than 40, but much active than people who are younger than 30. Okay. So don't go by their age. Gautam,
Yes.
Gautam is here, yeah.
Myself, Dr. Gautam from Patna.
Tell something about more.
Actually,
LDP is all about getting more vocal.
मैं ग्रो करना चाहता हूँ. मैं सोसाइटी को और हेल्थ अपने ब्रांच में अच्छा चीज देना चाहता हूँ कि मैं अपने आप कैसे ग्रूम करूँ कि मैं उसको अच्छा सर्विस दे सकूँ. बाय नेचर्स, बाय academic activity and all others. So I have come here to groom myself.
Good. The first basic step I said is to help self. So self-awareness, self-improvement, definitely once it improves, automatically you will make a change in partner. Definitely I am telling, because it is required there.
Thank you. Now heading the ophthalmology department at Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences, Cochin. Why LDP?
Why LDP?
I think I also thought that I was actually stagnated for the last 3-4 years. Now for the last 3-4 years, I'm also head of that institution doing the same kind of work, completely stagnated. So I needed to find out new avenues as to.
Did you ask Amma about this?
No.
You know the story? Can you tell about Ammaji? Amrita.
So I work in Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences. Basically, our patron is Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, who is considered a saint, and she does a lot of philanthropical activities. So the hospital is also based on the fact that
in Kerala she is very famous figure, and almost South India she tours around and she really preaches about life and all kind of thing. And she calls him as Bangar Tandri, that is means golden father. Okay? So he's been so much respected there. Thank you.
Also involved with IMA and the Private Doctors Association KPMA, which I have a leadership role. I was trying to learn how I can go beyond ophthalmology to the other aspects of healthcare also, like delivering education, things like that.
You are interested in educating people or
Educating the general public.
educated?
General public, so.
General public, yes. General public. This is
On health
more,
awareness.
beyond healthcare.
Yeah, basically beyond.
Beyond healthcare, yeah. That is another opportunity for us to grow you into it. And
Good afternoon. I'm Himanshu Shukla. I'm from a small city. It's called Jabalpur, and it's in Madhya
small
Pradesh.
city नहीं है यार. 60 votes है उधर.
Along with my brother, who is actually a cataract and a refractive surgeon there, Dr. Rahul Shukla, who has done
Last
this
year,
program. Last year, he was the candidate, and what basically made me come to the program was actually he was one of the things who actually I wanted to see what happens here, because if I divide Rahul Shukla into two halves, before 2012 and after 2012, after seeing this program, and I have seen an immense change in him. Totally.
Posting me about it.
Yeah, and he bugs us also about it, how we can understand it. And he says, you need to attend the program to understand what it is. And so I'm here.
Yes.
Hopefully.
No.
The practice has become monotonous for all of us. We do day-to-day routine work, but try to do something better. So that was one of the main aims why I joined NBT, and hope so that it will bring a sea change as we did in my retina training itself. Same, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, now I love more general development than retina training. Of course, retina training also will be there. Secondary this thing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm Dr. Ashok. I'm also from Chennai. I'm doing private practice for the last 7-8 years. And so basically to improve in my practice, and then the ophthalmic scenario just turns away.
Last time who applied between two?
No, we didn't.
Last year.
No.
Last year one of you have been denied. I'm telling you this. Applications came from Tamil Nadu and we had to, for some reason we had to drop one test. Anyhow, welcome to all of you from Tamil Nadu. Then we fellowship in cornea after my MS, and then I thought I was reaching a stagnant point. Still young at heart and willing to work hard. So I thought this would give me more energy, more channelization, and give me a good direction to work with and interact with. As we interact, we know he's a mature guy among us, and we will also look forward to gain from him. I am the only person who's probably not dyeing my hair. I could have dyed them. Mir Alam, he's from सब कुछ होता है life में, but he promised that other 2 sessions he will attend and he will gain whatever is possible. Yeah.
Can I speak something about Dr. Virender? He'd asked me to introduce himself.
Okay.
Dr. Virender Agarwal is another colleague from Jaipur, and he's a very active ophthalmologist and a good surgeon and the committee. In spite of being so active, he still feels that he can develop himself into a better leader than what he is.
He requires to be. I know him
So
in and out.
that was his aim to join.
Yeah, Virender almost studied with me at RP Center and was a potential candidate for the society. Yes. Next, Vedant Shah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
No. He will prove himself what he is.
And he's the youngest one.
Let him speak.
And it's my pleasure to work with all young ophthalmologists. So I'm doing my final year residency at Arvind Hospital, Madurai, and Dr. Madhu is my main inspiration. He told me that I'm stepping out into a world and I'm soon to start my practice. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to develop myself before I.
His father is Your father?
My father is Dr. Dilesh Shah from Kolkata, and he is the technical advisor Lions International.
His father stopped me in Calcutta meeting with WP. He said, what about my son? He applied for RCP. I said, I don't see anyone who has applied. You have not ever told me. Then he said, he's studying in Madurai. And later on, I could connect both the things, and now
So like you, Madhu was the oldest in our
Right. So, though I taken over from him as chairman ARC, I adapted leadership development program as much as he used to know. So, and I am involving him also so that it will be much better. That way he will speak about Power of One. Ashu is here. He can comprehend anything. Whoever interacts, he can tell his mind what the other person is thinking, right, Ashu? So he will talk about thinking change that has happened in him actually. Now I given him a chance to think about himself, what has really changed in him. And Samar will come, you know his editor proceedings, how to lead from better to excellence. Ashok Grover again will come, and he will talk about how leaders are different from.
So the scope of my talk would be brief introduction about the program structure, and what you can expect to take up projects and pursue them, and in conclusion, what you can learn from this. So as you know, all of you are nominated from different states, and there are 15 to 20 participants, and this will be spread about 4 education sessions, and there will be an orientation and skill development to develop leaders. LDP is not new to the societies like us, even it's there in AIO and APAO. So the program structure is the initiation session which now you are attending. The next one will be at Wellinger Institute of Management, Mumbai, and one more session will be in Hyderabad by Mr. Krishna Sagar, and the concluding session, a lot of leaders from our community who can give their secrets on practice management, handling competition, crisis management, and several other things. Here you get a chance to spend quality time with them, discuss issues one-on-one, and get to gain from their experience how they have handled the crisis situations and everything. And the core sessions will be in Mumbai and Hyderabad. The Mumbai session, you'll get a chance to meet people from other parts of life, like Jubin Mullah from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. He'll teach you about emotional intelligence. Professor Nandan Sanwal, who is a management guru from Pre-Pulses. Professor V.H. Iyer, Dean of V School and also a Director of Omnitech. And even personalities like Dr. Sivanandan, who is a ex-commissioner of Mumbai Police, and Professor Kanu Doshi, Director of Reliance Capital. From different
documentation, because he is far better in documentation in this presentation than the previous speaker.
Like how to handle media, how to release a press note, and everything you'll be trained in the Mumbai session. And so in day 1, it will be focused on career development, role of leadership in medical profession, brand building, PR, finance and tax planning, and our role in global leadership. And the day 2 will be more about interpersonal relationships, leadership models, and principles of success. So by the end of the Mumbai session, you'll be enabled to plan for a successful and progressive career, understanding what real leadership is, differentiating from pseudo leaders, and how you can inspire others to bring about a positive change. You'll also be enabled to have a good branding and ethical promotion of yourself and your institute. You can effectively manage the press and PR. You can also have basic idea about finance and tax planning, and you can also successfully manage interpersonal relationships in your institute. And the Hyderabad session, which will be especially the healthcare industry. So this also has a 2-day session in which in day 1 you'll know what your limiting factors are and how to get rid of them. Then you'll know how to set core values for yourself and your institute, and how to effectively communicate them repeatedly. Remind yourself of these core values to yourself and to your institute also, and you'll expand your emotional vocabulary. You'll understand what feelings and beliefs are. You'll understand different things like feel, thought, action cycle. You'll understand EQ, and the basics of transaction analysis. And the one more advantage here is you get to meet other LDP fellows from your batch from different states, so you get to know from them. Some of them like it runs an institute, some of them is from a private institution, some of them are doing a fellowship. So you get to know different perspectives from everybody.
LDP during this course of 1 year, that's what set me thinking. I wasn't thinking before that. So I was wondering, so I thought I'd analyze the situation. What I did realize, of course there's no financial interest here, that it will not make you a leader. Please note, I'm quoting someone here, and that's our ARC chairman, Dr. Ajit Babu. Because like he told you also, if you remember, during the course of this initiation program, that it's not going to make you a leader overnight. But don't be disheartened. You will achieve a lot and hopefully set you on path to effective leadership. The key here is effective leadership. So I thought, let me analyze what I'd learned a lot. There were 3 sessions that I had attended earlier, and has the ability to inspire people and lead or motivate them to a common goal or for a common purpose is what a leader is. The dimensions and scale can differ. Not everyone has to be Mahatma Gandhi or Obama, and you could be a leader in your own vicinity, in your own locality, in your own community, in your own hospital, because wherever you can influence people and make things better or motivate them to improve, you are a leader. They could be positive or negative, like Dr. Ajit also referred earlier. Hitler would be classified as a person. He is a leader. Osama bin Laden was a leader, but yes, they were in the negative category. So we need to, and we also need to differentiate between what true leader and leadership is, in contrast to what we understand as leaders or what are projected as leaders. So just because you're in the media does not mean that you're a leader. As I said earlier, you can be a leader in your own right, in your own small little environment. So during the course of LDP, I understood something about, in my clinic there are 2 receptionists. The senior one is a lady and she knows her job pretty well, but she's again picked it up on her own by virtue of experience and seeing how I work. The junior one is a younger fellow who is about 22 years of age, young bright boy, but he doesn't know how to go about it. So much so that if the senior one left, he would make mistakes in the billing also. That's the basic thing. If you make mistakes in billing, then there's a lot of problem. So this is what I realized, that because I never even bothered to explain, to the extent that there would be people who would come and ask, okay, what are the charges for ICL? They would know that I would be doing ICL. So they were not aware of what was being done, because actually partly I was to blame because the clinic was never an important part of my practice initially. As some people call it, participatory management. This is what I started doing. Again, same problem. I would never delegate work. Whatever little thing, I would do it on my own. Even small things like, if the AC is not working, I would try to manage it on my own. Complain, call the people, ensure it gets done. Despite in the clinic, small clinic that I have, there are about 4 people, 4 staff members, but even then I would try to do everything myself, which of course led to a lot of frustration and anger. So I realized that I have to delegate work, and then as a result, which I started doing, and I realized that the staff developed a sense of ownership, and they even provided valuable insights which were lacking earlier. Another example that I'd like to give here is that I've been in my clinic. I started about 6 years ago. Never really increased the amount that I charged, my fee, and because as I said, it was not very important to me. I just went there for the heck of it and ensuring that the patients know where I would be. And then I started realizing what was good 6 years ago was actually peanuts now. But there were patients who would, from the vicinity, would come and say, "Doctor Sahab, fees bahut zyada hai, it's too much." And I could see actually quite a few patients talking to the staff outside the reception, the front office staff, and going away. So I had this thing that people in this area probably don't want, although it's a South Delhi area, but they don't want to pay that much. So I talked to my staff and I asked them what their view on this was, increasing the fee. So they said, okay, they took 2-3 days. They actually went down and checked the data and said that only 20% of our patients are from the local vicinity. 80% of my patients are either referred or come from my earlier practices where I worked. And they said that it would not matter if we increase the fee. So this is something which I would never realize. And they actually took the pains and did that bit of research, and they could provide this insight. And I also, as I told you, like little things like getting the AC fixed or something, the refrigerator fixed, even that I would take on myself. So I started delegating that, and to my surprise, should I be surprised? They actually manage better than me. Empathy. I've always been considered by my friends and colleagues to be an empathetic person. But now I'm more acutely aware of it and I'm able to express it, which is something I may not have done earlier. You talked about Dr. Iyer, who's the Dean of Wellinger. You'll be going there in Bombay. So he gave an example. Like his secretary was called up and said that my child is not well, so I would not be coming. And he said, I know now she cannot come. I can either crib about it, or I can just tell her, okay, fine, just don't worry, take care of the child. Because she's not going to come anyway. So that little thing that I did really touched a chord in the secretary's heart. And I realized that it happens with me day in, day in, day out. Dr. Mutresh would call up and say, sir, I can't come today. And at that time, I can, okay, fine, I'll just say a gruff, okay, thank you, okay, it's okay. But just one little sentence, okay, just take care of it. He may be bluffing, fine. But at least, even if he's bluffing, he'll feel, okay, sir was nice enough to, not question me, not say anything. So that little empathy, when you express it, goes a long way. This is what I started doing. And it's made a difference. And also, see the big picture. Very often, we get into a situation and we try to sort it out and we see what's in it for us. And here I'd like to give the example of Dr. Ajit Babu. When he, in the Bombay meeting, if you remember, Madhu, he got delayed. Right? And we thought that he's got in practice recently and 2-3 or retina surgeries karke aa rahe honge, and so he's making money. But later on we realized that he reached the airport, I think 55 minutes before the closing time at the check-in time. But for some unknown reason, the airline that day, they're supposed to close at 45 minutes. They closed at 55 minutes and they did not allow him to go. And a similar thing was happening on the other counter at SpiceJet. So he was very angry, but the person at the SpiceJet counter was blowing off. He was giving the SpiceJet girls left, right, and center. Actually, the Indigo one, they said, it should be called SpiceJet. That was not a deliberate one. Okay. So then he realized that he was part of this LDP program, and he said that I realized, what would I do? So he said, give me a letter. He wrote a letter, I think he wrote a mail. Complaint. Detailed complaint. The objective, he said, was to ensure that other people do not suffer because of some mistake on the part of the airlines. So that was the big picture. This is something I've started implementing now. I mean, we all have it in us. It's just that this program kind of highlighted certain aspects which have started coming out. We are all born with it, we all have the same qualities, everything as I said, but you can just, depend on what you own and what you just keep on the back burner. And this was an opportunity to help us grow and identify whatever we wanted to own. So there's a long road ahead for me and for all of you also. However, a beginning has been made. Thank you for your patience.
Ophthalmological Society's president and secretary happened to be over there in the conference, and they themselves approached me and sent me for this wonderful program. From my time, it was started like one session at Wellinger and the other at Hyderabad, and Hyderabad session was excellent. I mean, we all were, after that program, we were not talking with each other, we were just engrossed in ourselves. So I think you should all expect that from this program, along with your management skills, your financial management skills, your practice management skills. More important is your personal management, your own emotions, your self-analysis, and that helps a lot. Since I was so encouraged by this program, I thought of, along with of course Dr. Natarajan, to start this similar program in Maharashtra. Of course, we are not yet successful the way it is organized by AIOS, but we try to organize small sessions at every conference, like MOS conference, as well as we have a Pune Ophthalmological Society conference. And we try to invite leaders from other fields as well as from our own fields, and people enjoy that program. I mean, before I went, everyone used to feel that I am going to join politics, and so I've gone for leadership development program. And now they realize that what this program is exactly. In fact, I receive mails because usually I give talks on work-life balance and emotional balance, and people like the whole concept of this program. And I would request you, one good thing is this project, which was not there in my session, but please start this session in your own states, because it will really help for those people who are at interiors. They are doing excellent ophthalmological work. So all these small tips to them, that helps them grow more. I remember one of our participants was from a very small village in Maharashtra, from community ophthalmology. He is now running a hospital. I think you all should enjoy this. And my aim of attending, every year I come for this session, because it's on my swartha. I would say I want to listen to Ajit Babu Maji and Natarajan sir, because that gives me yearly tonic. Because somewhere you need it. Every year you need to take this and again start doing the same process. So that's for my own sake as well. Thank you very much for this wonderful program.
And second is,
good afternoon all of you. Well, that way I'm not very good speaker. The talk is very difficult for me. I thought I would share some of the thoughts I used to follow. So it is from better to excellent, and I do not have any financial interest. The literal meaning of excellence, it is the X means out of, celere means to rise. That means to be excellent, we must rise out of better, good or average, from one step to another step. We ophthalmologists need to know many things. So many things in our mind, so many things. And we have a different roles to play in the community. In our branch of medicine, in our personal life, in family life, for the society, for the nation, etc., etc. And on the right hand side, you have a multiple role to play in the community. One side you might be a very good academician, another side you may be a very bad husband. And that is a very bad example of going to excellence. And again, you might be a very good presenter, but may not be a very good content within you. So you have so many roles to play in the community. And a fine balancing act is required within these areas. So each area there is a scope for excellence. Not only we are ophthalmologists, we are father also. We are spouse for somebody. We are neighbor for somebody. So it is a big dimension. And what Aristotle said about 300 BC, that excellence is not an act, it is a habit. It was told long time, 3000 years back. And it is not also a destination, it is a continuous journey. So in this journey, there are certain points to be remembered when you walked into this training center. This is a training center, mind that, of this hotel. So you will see a lot of photographs and a lot of captions, or even in back you see there are two excellent captions are there. So these are all basically the elements of going from one level to another level. And the world is changing, our subject is changing, so we have to change with the time. So this is for junior people. I used to say, this is whosoever comes to me and say that I want to do this. I said, set you your goal. Goal 1, goal 2 and goal 3. Goal 1, you must be recognized by your patient, because we are otherwise ophthalmologists. Unless patients recognize me, we cannot be recognized by others. Second tier will be, you must be recognized by your fellow colleagues. That means if you are doing something good or better, so your colleagues will appreciate you. Third goal, it is a continuous journey. So third goal, you must be recognized by your bigger community. So you have your other colleagues, your community. So the goal will move on. Then listen. Listen to others, maybe at home. I call it their internal customer. Like your wife, your husband, your son or daughter, or your friend, your colleague, they are internal customer. But at work, they are our external customer. Like our patients, they are otherwise our external, but they are most important to us. They are most important to us. Maybe our external colleague, they are also most important to us. So This is also a good thought, that go for a walk without a mobile phone or without any music, and listen to your thoughts, listen to yourself, and synchronize it, try to visualize it. Then you act it. Then communicate. There is a good friend that communicate. Communication is one of the way to try to go from one level to another. Appreciate people, thank people, and make sure that you tell them that you are caring for them. And always try to respect other personal space and time. That is also important. While you are communicating, you should respect them and be patient. And if you have any complaint, that I always try to tell my friends, if you have any complaint, try to have 3-4 solution or one solution for it. Just don't complain. Otherwise, you should have 2-3 answers for that, and we will imply those answers. Then enrich yourself, irrespective of individual position, junior or senior, clinician or surgeon, any subspecialty doctor. Everyone needs to believe that it is his or her job to make patients' lives better. Our life is patient-centric mostly, and family will be automatically comes. So patients, family, and then society will come all together. So we should have all this enrichment mentally. Then create a sense of optimism. I always try to believe that whatever you do, are you doing it perfectly? So there are two ends. One is, you see that it is a spectacle. With one side it is a perfection, one side it is a perfection. For me it is a kind of illusion. You cannot achieve any perfection. If you reach there, there is no area of scope of improvement. So you should strive for excellence. So drive to a near perfection. That means you have another goal will be there. Recognize the price of failure and do it right at the first time, at the first impression. Get into the finer details of your job and work. Develop a sense of obsession towards perfection. This obsession is a very important term here. And install this passion of near perfection to all the people around you. That means in your hospital, if somebody, your colleague is there, optometrist is there, other sisters are there. So everybody should believe that we should go for that near perfection, all the people around him. And that should be with a quality mindset. Then teach, learn and go. Teach someone something you know, whatever may be. Maybe ophthalmology, maybe not related to ophthalmology, maybe philosophy of life. And every time, challenge yourself. Do something if you do not do normally. So I used to take the example, like someday I learned that way that MS glaucoma. I didn't know anything about glaucoma. Then I realized that cornea, I am doing so much keratoplasty, I have to learn glaucoma. Because every time you see that there is one thing, is attitude is there, positive attitude. So positive attitude, mindset, positive thinking, positive optimism, all that. And keep your cool. Whenever you are, basically, sometimes you get stuck, and don't lose your cool. Just focus on your work and do better and better and better and better and better and better. So you will go towards excellence. So excellence is not a destination. It is a continuous journey that never ends. It is just like a light on the top of a mountain. The more you go closer, the more it becomes brighter. So you just go on your work. It is like a vantage point. There is no limit. You cannot see the other end. Do you know the Moore's law? Anybody in this house? Moore's law. It is a law in hardware, in computer. If you see the Moore's law, it says that Gordon Moore's, date of birth 29, co-founder of Intel. This is the basic philosophy in computer hardware technology. How small, how fast and how powerful. And every 2 years it gets repeated. Every 2 years it doubles. So the curve you see that from 1900, the computer technology, whatsoever that time was there, it gradually going up and up and up. So we are getting smaller and smaller gadgets with lot of information. That is the Moore's law. Moore's law is, it is a infinite points basically. So probably one time it happened, so there are a lot of challenges against the Moore's law, that probably one time will come that you will get everything in your whole hand, fixed Muller hand. But this Moore's law is now disrupting our technology, challenging the clinicians and remaking the medicines every year because of this Moore's law. Every time you will see, you will find a new machine. Thereby, every time it is setting a new height of excellence. Suppose you are in any FECO, you see that how that it is the software technology basically. Now everything is, so one machine to another machine, one computer to another computer, one investigative area to another investigative area. So it is not possible to go pace with the Moore's law. But yes, quantum leap is possible in the era of nanotechnology, from better to excellence, because there is no speed limit in the road of excellence. So you can take any speed. So leap towards the excellence, what we are now today and what we want to be. But be excellent to each other. That is very important point. You must be excellent to each other. And there are two quotable quotes. The road of excellence is always under construction. And excellence is like underwear. It is important to have it, but not necessarily to show it. And I'll finish with this famous quote of Swami Vivekananda, because it is the 150th birthday. Talk to yourself once in a day, otherwise you may miss meeting an excellent person in this world. So you are the excellent person always. Thank you very much.
Excellent talk. Can I have a slide on goal 1, 2, 3? Every minute we are thinking about patient only. That's why we are in the conference. And I have few. I think it's one more forward. Just keep going forward. I have one. Thank you. Go forward. Yeah. Go forward. Yes. Next. Yeah. One minute. The other one.
Perfect. 5 minutes only.
Okay.
The general close.
Fine. You asked me to speak on power of one. So I wanted to quote, I think, the previous batch, probably I've listened to Mr. Shivanandan. He's written a book. I've actually ordered the book. Jacob sent it, and probably if it doesn't reach by 4, I'll meet you in the next. I hope all of you will be there in the next session on Sunday. So,
Sunday 9th, 10 o'clock, Hall K, there is a concluding session.
Same hall.
So, initiation batch can come. You will know what our hang of it. The concluding session, because most of the people who are finishing.
What time? 10 o'clock.
9th, same place. 9th, yeah, 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Who has the power to make your dreams come true? Actually, only you do. So, your unique thoughts, ideas, and energy give you power. Use that positive power to get more from your life. And Power of One helps you to find and use your personal power. And you create a project just for you. And you set goals for yourself, then work to achieve them, and you see the results. And have you ever thought about a special goal, which is what some of us have mentioned, and maybe you would like to develop better study habits, cope with the physical challenge, get along with family members, improve job skills, become a leader, or any other personal goal. And Power of One is for you. You select the goals most important to you, then create a plan of action to meet the goal. And I think Swami Chinmayananda says that keep your, like for example, if your goal is only to touch the ceiling, one day you will touch it by jumping daily. So I think you have to keep aim sky high so that you always work with the outstretched hand. Better you improve on a personal trait, family ties, get along better with family members, working on working, explore and prepare for careers. Take the lead, develop leadership qualities. It's not come, it's actually you have to develop them. Make your goals come true with the concept of Power of One. It's as easier. Choose a personal concern, create a plan, carry out steps to meet your goal. And a Power of One individual activity you create to reach a goal. It only take one person to change the world for good or bad. We have excellent examples like Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, and we also have Dawood as a negative man who has done. He has also got a 20,000 crore employee, a 20,000 crore concern. So best is to be positive. Take Mahatma Gandhi for example. He was a great political leader involved in the movement for Indian independence through non-violent and peaceful means. And Nelson Mandela, everybody knows when he passed away, even the jailer was with tears. And what Martin Luther King said 30 or 40 years back, and now Barack Obama is doing. The three individuals I just mentioned have changed the world in a positive way, and have done so by acting in a positive way. So one man is enough to change, and I think however small and however infinite you are, I think you are connected to the rest of the world, and you have the power of one to change the world. They have been noticed, respected, and even loved for their non-violent movements. Each and every one of us have the power to change the world for good, and the power of one. Like as Gandhiji said, many people, especially ignorant people, want to punish you for speaking the truth, for being correct, for being you. And never apologize for being correct, or for being years ahead of your time. And if you are right and you have it, speak your mind. Speak your mind. Even if you are a minority of one, the truth is still the truth. And I believe that, and that's why Government of India has Satyameva Jayate, which they may not be following. I think we all can follow for the patients. And he says, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. So I think I keep telling my staff that the change is the only constant thing in my life. I keep on changing things in the way I work, way I treat the patient, and it always is impossible until it's done. And Nelson Mandela said that. And 4 Lincoln quotes every leader should know. I'm a slow walker, but I never walk back. And I think before you take the step forward, you have to think. But after you take, don't look back. And whatever you are, be a good one. And I fear explanatory of things explained. And am I not destroying my enemies when I make friends? It's a beautiful statement. And I think I didn't read it before. And I think when I went from Chennai to Mumbai, there were a lot of people who were jealous. So I knew it, but I used to always go and greet them, wish them, and hug them. And I always say that Kushiyam Patnega. But I think people realize it, then you automatically remove your jealous people and your enemies too. And Mother Teresa, do not wait for leaders. Do it alone, person to person. And Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. I mean, that's faith. If your leader says jump, you should be ready to jump. And that's what our leaders do in Kargil and the Siachen Glacier, where it's minus 40. And now you can see today also Chicago and Midwestern US having 24 inches of snow. And again, I admire Steve Jobs for what he was. The ones who are crazy enough to think that he can change the world are the ones who do. And I think he was a great, that way he told the engineers, I don't know how many of you read his biography, he was a rude, crude man. But that's the problem, I think, when you want to get something done, you are very rude. He had an office with all the engineers working with a half-covered table, and he used to go and ask, every day when he passes by, he'll ask the engineers, what happened to them? Mobile, which I wanted one button, and now you all can see the iPhone 5 or whatever has come, everything is in one button. And I think after that, Samsung and every phone copied it. And first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, and then they fight you, and then you win. And I think this is what my life is also all about. One touch can show you care, and one life can make a difference, and one star can guide a ship at sea, and one tree can start a forest, and one bird can herald spring, and one vote can change a nation. You can ask Ajit Babu. One step must start with a journey.
I already talked about change.
One hope will raise our spirits. And often we think of leaders as bigger than life, people who steer the course of armies, countries, and large corporations bigger than life. But actually I always wonder, however big you are, Napoleon was 5 feet some plus, and I think he was shot. And I think even Hitler was shot, but I think they could control even Alexander the Great. And I think all of them were shot. I think Air India plane had converted into several bedrooms. I always wondered, you can only sleep 6 by 2, and people like me, I sleep in 1 minute and I don't know where I'm sleeping. In reality, many of the world's most influential leaders are individuals with passion, persistence, and change. And you question yourself, are you that 1%? I don't know how many of you read about Nelson Mandela. I think he continuously brainwashed himself when he was in the prison, where they were ill-treated him by not giving him fan, not putting him in a separate room where there was no sunlight, he could not see the outside, and several years, not one day, 1 week. And I think he kept on telling himself, no revenge. And I think I learned from life, so many people have done so many things bad. I think never you waste your energy on taking revenge, getting angry. You can get angry for work, but I think taking revenge will kill yourself. And let your
I
wife
want
do
to
it.
say one thing here.
Yes.
Whenever you have a focus and you have a target, you have a goal, whenever you get distracted, you will be away from the goal. You never get distracted. And your distractors always try to do that. This is what happens. So you speak to yourself that you have a goal and you focus there. You don't get distracted. That is what it is.
Yes.
It means.
If you've seen the movie, I don't know how many of you have seen Ek Ajnabi, where Amitabh Bachchan is a security for a small girl. Anybody seen? Nobody has seen. You should see that. In that movie, Amitabh Bachchan comes as a security, where there's a ploy that somebody to kidnap. Actually, the father only will do the plot. But the thing is, the girl is interested in coming first in the swimming. In timing, for example, whatever the distance, she was covering in 12 seconds. But the same 12 seconds, she's supposed to come first, but she will come second. The reason you analyze it and say, ready, 1, 2, 3, and the gunshot comes, she goes 1 second back. So I think he says, focus. Don't worry about the gunshot. Don't worry. You are ready, 1, 2, 3, and then you have decided to jump. You jump forward, and then he will teach her life. I keep telling this to all the children because he says, focus, focus, focus. So I think that's what Ajit says. Ashok Grover has come, but the next session is ready.
No.
Take the high notes. Leadership
Give
is
us
about
5 minutes.
Okay, ready?
5 minutes.
When you are
Please
done.
come.
It's about speaking of goals.
Orbit was running. My God got delayed.
It's about envisioning the way things ought to be, and be a positive influence. And a scholar and a poet, William Arthur Watt, said, when we seek to discover the best in others, we somehow bring out the best in ourselves. And I think as a teacher, that's what we do. Do the right thing even when no one is looking. And I think that's the best way to work. And he also said, do more than belong, participate. Do more than care, help. Do more than believe, practice. Do more than be fair, be kind. Do more than forgive, forget. And do more than dream, work. Because we keep on dreaming, and if you don't work, what? So make little things count. And when you do something positive, look for ways to expand it. And if you do something that has a negative effect, even unintentionally, find a solution in the future. And recently, when India lifted the Cricket World Cup trophy, the captain of the team, Dhoni, allowed his team members to take center stage while he stood on the sidelines, even though he played a crucial knock in the finals and hit the final 6 over mid-off to seal India's victory in the World Cup finals. I think that's a great leader. Yeah, I'm finishing. Next. So probably.
We'll give